How about now?
It no, I can hear you. It's like electronic white noise, if you wish.
Let's see. Is that any better?
Uh, Maybe try from a distance.
How about here?
It's about the same. Yeah, but
Well,
that's cool. Yeah,
that's not good. It sounds like an electronic disturbance. Okay,
yeah, like before and after the sentence, it's like white noise.
interesting.
But that's cool. I'm able to hear.
Okay. Um. Well, I don't want there to be. Anyway, all right. Well, this will be a a test to see how we do. So, whew, I'm telling you what, I'm tired,
Yeah.
dude. I'm tired,
Oh
man.
yeah, I know. And you've been like up all night. Today was pretty good, right? We didn't have.
No, no, I didn't have to. No, no, work. It wasn't work this time. Well, it was kind of work. We had our company picnic, so
Oh yeah, how did that go?
yeah, man. We went to Hershey Park. It was
Nice.
Yeah, man. It was good. We had a really good time. The girls had a good time. Playing all the rides and it was very tiring. It was a little bit hot, and
Oh yeah,
yeah, and although it's interesting. It's September what 19th or whatever, but it was still hot. It's like 80 degrees. Uh,
nice.
yeah, and then so it's a little hot, and what was bad is that the park. It appears like this is like one of the things that they do. So it's a Hershey Park, right? So it's an amusement park. It's got a bunch of great coasters, a bunch of games. They actually have really good food there. It was a good experience, except for this one little thing, and and it's one of those things where I don't want to complain, but then again, I'm like, and it wasn't my work's fault at all. The
Yeah.
event planners, I think, did a good job. They made sure that everybody was all set to go. All the instructions were there. What was bad is that there was the they call it the world's largest RV show. So
No way. Oh
yeah, so it was there too. So a drive that normally takes an hour and 30 minutes
yeah.
took 3 hours, and an hour and a half of it was like a quarter
Wow.
a quarter mile away from the park to the park. An hour and a
Oh,
half, just sitting there.
you could have
So
gone to Bethany Beach
this
in that time.
is what I'm saying. I could have traveled down to, to my dad's house and just like relaxed. But yeah,
Uh,
we had a great time. Once we got in the park, our company provided some great good food, and I saw a bunch of work folks out of the work mode. So it was nice to see people hang out with their kids and
yeah,
not all worky. So it was it
nice.
was it was good, and the girls had fun. And Sarah rode her first real roller coaster,
Oh,
like
cool.
real
Yeah,
roller coaster.
not the medium one, the actual.
Yeah, not a kid's coaster, right?
Yeah.
Not a kid's. She rode. It's called the Comet, and it's an old school wooden roller coaster. The ones that like all you do is go up and down and take turns. You know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean? But
yeah.
the whole thing rattles and shakes, and you know what I mean. So the newer style, like grab those rails and they've got polished wheels, and then it's more like a motion where you're like flying, right? Well, in those old coasters, you know, you really should wear like a mouth guard. Your teeth are rattling together so much. And Sarah didn't like it. She was not a fan.
No. Oh,
Yeah,
poor girl.
no. Yeah, she's not a thrill seeker.
Oh. Well, yeah. Here it almost went up to 70, and now it started raining. So
Oh.
yeah, it was pouring, but still, Buckeyes won. So
Come on. You really care.
you have to, man. The traffic goes crazy when there is a Buckeye game. It was their home game, so it's like everything was packed.
Okay.
So yeah, it went well. We didn't have any cricket, so
I was gonna
no
say.
worries there. Yeah, I mean the game is today. I think that's cancelled too. So I'm not playing anyway. So,
No, is it?
no,
It's because of all the rain.
no, it's Sunday and it's like a late game.
Right.
If I have to travel tomorrow, I'm just I'll play Saturday game. No worries.
Okay.
Sunday's tough.
I got because of the show. You're like, I can't.
Yeah, yeah, that went
I,
well.
I had a question for you in regard to the show.
Yep,
Last week I was talking about the Facebooking, right?
yep.
And I was like, you handle the Facebooking, and I don't do Facebook.
I know. It's so
I
cool.
know. I it's cool. It's cool that I don't do it, or it's cool, or you really enjoy the Facebook.
No, I like it.
You like it.
Yeah.
So in my moments of going onto the Facebook for the purposes of the show and to do like the research and the setup, I realized that most people use the Facebook. So I went onto the Facebook and I added you as a friend because I mean that's how infrequent I use Facebook. I was like, okay. And so I add soccer and I'm like, okay, now let me make the page for the show, every
Yeah,
2 weeks, whatever.
yeah.
And so I get on there and I notice, yeah, now a lot of people have friends on Facebook, but most people are cresting the 80, 150, maybe. I even know one of the younger folk out there who has about 400 friends that I was like, oh, that's it. Wow. Wow. So then I see Sagar's page, and I'm a little taken aback by the fact that you have over 800, almost 900 friends.
No, no.
Yes. Yes. You have, hold on. I'm bringing it up now. You have, let me see if I can find it. Of course, I don't know how to, hold on. I don't know how to Facebook. Hold on
Yeah,
a
that's
second.
fair.
Hold on.
Uh,
Here we go. Okay. Are you ready?
yeah,
Are you sitting down?
yeah.
You have 894 friends.
Oh boy, really?
How do you have 894
Yeah.
friends?
Wow. Yeah, I thought I was close to like 400 or 500. After that, I just quit counting. I didn't even look at it for a long time. But yeah, I mean, most of the friends are like from my hometown. That's where it started. And there's the whole family thing. Plus, I play cricket, so just in Columbus, I have, in my own club, I have like close to 50, 60 odd people.
Right.
That's a big chunk. And then from my engineering college days, there were like ton of them because we had like close to what 200 odd people in our batch. Like not everybody doing the same thing, but like some majored in computer, some in chemical and whatnot. So that added a chunk because I was a famous guy. Like,
I can see that.
no, that's good. And then the jobs. I kept changing so many jobs when I started. You know, so friends from there, and oh, and even during the schooling. So my dad, he didn't have a traveling job, but I think it was every 3 years, uh, he would have to shift the location. Like you could be in Baltimore for 3 years, and then you'll have to shift and go to New York for 3 years. Same in India. So I was in like a place called Chikli uh, for 3 years, then moved to some place called Akola for another 3 years, and then moved back to my hometown, Buldana. And after that, I think Dad retired. But that's how, I've been to so many middle schools and primary schools and whatnot. So they're just friends. Plus,
Yeah, but Sagar, how does that work with Facebook? Now, of course, I don't use Facebook, but
right.
I can't think. I guess do they all read every single post that you have, or is it? I mean, almost 1,000 people, Sagar, are like, what's Sagar doing?
No, so no, Facebook is cool. Not everybody has to follow you, but those who follow can actually see what you're posting and whatnot. Plus, it's a great place to, at least know what people are going through. And no, more the number of friends, less the number of those stupid ads you get in Facebook. Like you, I mean, you would rather see what one of your friends is doing instead of, a local ad popping up. Like, go to this dentist. I know I have to, but I don't want to, right?
I'm with you.
And you don't have to forget the birthdays again. Today, Chinmay's birthday. Well, you met Chinmay, my nephew.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's his birthday today, and then one of my friends, Ram, his birthday is there too. So at least I know that. Top of the morning.
Well, we'll wish them happy birthday for me as well.
Will do. Will do.
I think, Sagar, honestly, with 1,000 friends on Facebook, you have to have at least 2 birthdays a day that you have to say
Oh yeah,
birthday.
yeah. The funniest thing, no birthday. None of my friends were born on September 11th. That was kind of nice.
So Sagar celebrated a moment of silence.
Oh yeah, like peaceful. Because you never know what kind of reaction you would get. You're wishing someone happy birthday on 9/11. Do I want to? Maybe, right?
um,
And not that I care what people say. It just eh, that kind of reaction. So, but
I'm
yeah,
with you.
yeah. No,
So
Facebook
that's
is cool. But and the way I could connect to so many guys, like uh, even back in the day, like from the school days, if you know one friend, then the whole crew comes over, It connects you so fast. So
it
yeah.
does. It does.
I just feel bad for, like there were so many good companies out there, like MySpace, if you heard of you must have heard of
Oh,
MySpace.
I know it. Of course, I was on MySpace back in the day.
Oh yeah. And there was one more called Orkut. I don't know if you heard of that one. So
I know about Orkut.
yeah. The two I would say two great social media companies and they just died, you know. For lack of innovation, if you wish, or people just. I mean, the scary thought is it's just that people need something new every 5 years or 10 years. Now that's a scary thought for Facebook. 'Cause if I build something, it's like a bunch of folks, like for a decade they would follow this, or the way we do it, like. For 8 years, I'm Republican. For another 8 years, I'll be Demo. Right?
That's pretty poignant actually. But yeah.
That's funny. So that's a scary thought for Facebook. I mean, people are
I,
banking so much. Like it started with $34 a share. Now it's hanging around like 112 or whatnot. If
well,
it has to go down, it could go down anytime.
no. But here's the thing. So they celebrated their billionth logins, simultaneous login. So
Wow.
they had 1 billion people simultaneously logged into Facebook at the same time. Now, of course, that's between many devices and yada yada yada. Yada. But I think that MySpace and Orkut was actually purchased by Google at one point,
Right.
and it was big in Brazil and a couple other places. I think it might have been popular in India. I'm guessing since you know
Oh
about
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
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 um, but Google purchased it. Now, what Facebook's been able to do is I think actually much better than those other two
Yeah.
because of the way that they get people together and the way that also they've been able to very quickly, unlike say like Twitter's still trying to do this, but they were able to quickly monetize social, right? They were able to less than 5 years ago, I did some advertising on Facebook and got a lot of people to respond because I could actually say this zip code or this type of person. I mean, you can drill it down to people with kids. You can drill it down to their sex. You can because of the fact that you give them all this information, they can actually allow advertisements to go directly to your demographic to a very fine point, right?
Yep.
And they were able to make this happen, and they've been selling advertising for a long time, and I think that they've been able to monetize. So both business and personal have jumped on the system. So I think that I don't know if they're going to go away. I think that they're here to stay for quite some time.
That's a great point. I was reading some article. I don't know, it was yesterday or day before, but so Facebook has the app, right? Like a
Right.
Facebook app. So they're your mode of revenue, if you wish, is through a product. Now, I could use Google search because Google, that's their revenue model, right? You search something, they would know something about me, and they would try to sell similar looking products, their preferred similar looking products. But I'm doing all this on my Apple iPhone, right?
Right.
So now, down the line, like maybe 2 years down the line, who do you think would have more control? The phone I'm holding in my hand or the search I'm doing? Because if I have Apple phone, Apple could control what I'm looking at. It was some article on that ad blocker, like iOS 9 came out and it has ad blocker on it.
Mm-hmm.
Or some of the games I download for, Sanika, I have to pay more just to block the ads. It's like mugging, right? I want, I, I won't show you my face. Just give me 10 more bucks, right?
Right.
And but, I mean, that's how they make money. So
Oh yeah.
out of these three companies, it would be interesting to see who goes like, leaps and bounds ahead and who's gonna fall short on innovation. Because if Google controls the web and Apple goes through, I mean, the hardware plus, they're close to the user because we are already spending so much upfront just to get a device or hardware. Or
Right.
would it be Facebook that, people are so big on social thing that they would make more money? So, what's your thought on that?
No, I think that you hit it. I mean, I'm no tech guru. At least I don't
Oh, you're a
say I
geek.
am. I'm a
You are a
geek,
geek.
but but I would say this: that I think that you hit the nail on the head. That Apple's going for a hardware and software experience. They're even fighting the U.S. government on encryption stuff, where they're like, no, our customers are more important. We're gonna allow them to have the highest encryption possible on their machines. So that things like that. So they're going after the customer in the fact that they can provide like a really sweet piece of hardware, and the user interface is that. I mean, this weekend alone, Lori and I had a couple arguments about my phone's been acting really funny, and the iPhone that she has is over 4 years old. It's like ancient, and it
Yeah.
still works. Right where I'm always having these issues with mine. The other day, my mute button failed. I thought I was going to die because I was in the middle of a meeting and I had muted it, and I thought I was on mute. It was a bad situation. So, so it was really, really bad. So anyway, then you've got Google, and like you said, I think you said they own the web, and I think that's partially true. I think that they do own search pretty much outright.
Right.
Bing's trying, and then they do own. They own, like Facebook. They own also user data because of Gmail,
Oh yeah.
and you know what I mean. Like I think that they own user data in that respect as well. And then and then Facebook owns social.
Right.
So, and could there be another contender? I mean, everyone's trying to create a new contender. I think that, but that's kind of the way that it goes right now. That's how it's all mapped out. You know, Google also owns Android and also that platform. So, but look at the innovation that they're all trying to do. I think that's also one of the important factors of these companies is the fact that they're all, and even Amazon, all of them are putting a great deal of money into research and development. Facebook has got like, you know, they want to do a bunch of stuff to get internet out there to, you know, countries that don't have internet, and so is Google. Google also has the driving cars. Apple's doing the car thing. They're going to put infotainment systems in vehicles. You know, it's all branching out to make sure that, you know, to try and make more revenue. But uh, I think that there's a couple of things on the horizon that I think that are going to be bigger. And not to get too geeky, but some of the bigger things out there is I think is going to be with Google and Facebook.
Yep.
And let me ask you this: if you on your Facebook Messenger app, right, because it knows a lot of the information that it already needs to know for what I'm about to say, ask me if you would use it, right? Because so it knows that you're Sagar.
Yep.
It knows where you are because of either your phone or even at home, right? It knows where you live,
Yep.
right? So if on Facebook Messenger you could say, you'd put like the at symbol, and then you'd put Uber, and then you'd
Hmm.
say schedule a pickup,
Yep.
and all of a sudden Facebook Messenger would look roughly the same, but all of a sudden it would just have a couple of buttons and a couple of fields, and then
Right.
you filled out a destination and a time for your pickup, and then you hit the button. What if all of that could happen seamlessly, and Facebook using Facebook Pay could pay Uber for you and schedule the pickup where you are exactly and get it all done. And so that way you never had to open another app. You were always in Facebook texting your friends. Then all of a sudden you're like, oh, hey, at Uber, pick me up now. And it asked you two questions, and then you were done. And then you didn't have to pay for it. You didn't get a receipt. I mean, it would all end up in your email or whatever. But or you wanted a pizza, and you said at Papa John's, and then you typed out, you know, I want a pizza. Then all of a sudden it said, you know, and instead of it being a web page that pops up, it just becomes a little bot that like just using the same kind of nice UI that Facebook Messenger comes with. It just shows a couple of buttons to do certain things, and then boom, you have your pizza. It knew where you were, it knew who you are, and it could pay for the pizza.
Right. And it it's great if it becomes so seamless, and I'm sure it would. It just part of me, being a dad or whatnot. If I have to become like the hardcore conservative guy, how,
Okay.
how much invasion of my privacy there's gonna be? I'll tell you one example why I'm not thrilled about all this information going out. I mean, it's okay. I don't really care. I mean, I don't have shitload of money to, someone's gonna come grab it or whatnot. But someone was trying to call me using this app called Truecaller or something.
Okay.
It's called Truecaller. You could try it sometime. But when they tried to call my, my shitty phone, right? The flip-flop one. I like the click.
Right.
When they tried to call that number, my Google profile picture came up. That phone doesn't even have a picture or internet or anything. It's just a phone. I want it because all it does is just a phone, right? I could call, I could hang up. That's all it does. But this Truecaller guy captured my Google profile picture from it and displayed it to anyone, like who knows who, right? And they could still call and see what's on there. So not truly fan of so much information going out to the people I don't know. But end of the day, if I know freaking 1,000 people, who cares for another 10,000, right?
Right.
So I'm not that private anyway, right? Because it's already out there. But yeah, to your point, whoever. gets there first is going to be a scapegoat. Because people are always, they are curious, I agree, but there's always a second thought like, oh, should I use this? Like, I'm not big on this Apple Pay yet. Because I don't fully understand how it works. Because people are going to spend more time learning about it, and there could be some sweet deal coming up with Facebook, and people would jump on it, right? So it's interesting how, and that's the behavioral analysis that needs to happen between all these. Like, is it who's the winner? The one who gets there first, or the one who improves it better, like Apple? Like, they're taking my freaking pen and turning it into a $99 product by pencil, right?
Right. True.
Come on, a pencil. Now you're gonna. I want it because it's cool, but a pencil for $99? Yeah, maybe I'll get it. So
Well,
they
and people are talking about that for sure. That the pencil or whatnot is expensive, but it does offer. One of the reasons it is expensive, and I agree with you. I think that initially I was like, oh dear, $99 for a stylus, and everyone jumped on that bandwagon because it's funny, and it is funny. And even Steve Jobs, back in the day said, we don't need a stylus, we need your finger, right? Don't give me a stylus, give me a finger.
yeah,
And so, but when Apple came up with the pressure sensitive screen, right, so it can tell how hard you're pressing. They came up with, I mean, this has been technology that's been out there for a little while, but they actually have produced this on the iPhone, the newest one,
yeah,
and on the iPad. And what they've done with the pencil, the iPencil or iPen or whatever it's called, is that that thing actually works with the pressure deal, and it also works with the angle, so that way you can broaden, like if you did calligraphy, if a fountain pen is laid down, it's got a flat tip, and like things like that. So that's why it's so expensive, and it needs to be like recharged.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you there. It was expensive, but back to privacy. What's interesting about Apple Pay and Google Pay, or Android Pay, I think they're calling it,
Cool.
is that the actual markets themselves, right, like the Searses and the Walmarts and the Targets, I can't remember what the consortium it was of retailers, but they came up and when they were like, no, we want to create our own version of this. And it all
Yeah.
came down, what's interesting is that it all came down to this. By Apple and Google knowing what you purchased, right? Like they knew what you purchased. Not only were they like capturing, the payment, but
Yeah.
they captured the receipt and stuff like that. Like they captured the transaction. So now, without having to have one of those, those cards or whatever, the what are they called? You have like your Giant card or your Target card where like it gives you discounts or whatever, right? They're
Yeah. The loyalty cards.
loyalty, exactly.
Yeah.
When you use your loyalty card, you are actually telling them what you're purchasing. You're not just saving 50 cents off of a jar of applesauce,
Right.
but you're also telling them that you bought the applesauce and everything else in that in when you purchase that stuff. Because it didn't just say, okay, here's your money for being loyal to us. Thank you so much. It said it said this is what I purchased, and normally you have to fill out a form so it knows your zip code. It might not know your sex, but usually it knows your zip code, and it can figure out your sex pretty quickly.
Yep.
Right? It
Yeah.
can tell in the household if a woman lives there, a man lives there, children live there pretty quickly. And so that's what the loyalty cards are for. But if you didn't use your loyalty card, like probably let's say 50% of people that go to these stores don't even have one.
Yeah.
Well, Apple and Google still know what you purchased, and they had that information. So this was taking that information away from retailers, and the retailers were getting it. They were upset that they were losing the metadata. They were losing that information, so they tried to create their own. I think it ended up bombing out. It was called like Current C, which was a terrible name because then you just think currency and then.
Yeah.
But it Yeah, it was a bad idea, and it had to do with using those QR codes, and like there was a long process, and it was just a bad idea.
It, it's interesting what people can do with our information now. It, when you're like a new dad, all you care about your baby, right?
Yeah.
So I go to this local grocery store called Kroger. Now,
Hmm.
Sanika didn't have trouble whether it was Enfamil or what's the other brand uh, on the baby milk. There's Enfamil and there is.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. What is that other brand?
Oh man, cause Sanika was big on that one. So every time I bought Sanika's brand, it would give me a coupon, $2 off on the other brand that I'm not buying. Like, come on, are you retarded? Give me something to save on what I'm trying to buy. But it was almost like opposite advertising or opposite marketing strategy, right? It,
Right.
it's funny how they can use that data. And I would end up buying something that Sanika may or, which she would not necessarily dislike. So, just to save a couple of bucks on the coupon, I'm like, oh, give me Unfamil this week. She might throw it up. I would still go for it.
That's true. So it was. I think we had that. You know, what we did. We were terrible. We tried. I think what we only had Enfamil or Similac, which is the other one. We ended up having either one of those only for the like
Similac, you're right.
sim,
Similac, yeah.
for the to go. You know, they had like the little to go packs.
Oh, yeah.
Like we would use it for the to go packs just because it was cheap. I mean, it was to go, so it's
Yeah.
friendly. But we went Walmart brand on the formula. We were Walmart brand on formula, which was inexpensive and just as good. And then diapers, we went to Costco and we got like you buy a case for like $1.50 and you get like all these like a million diapers.
Yeah.
So we were cheap too. Don't worry about that. But I understand
Do
the
you
coupon.
diapers work only till your baby doesn't know what she's wearing? The moment she can see what you're putting them, either it has to be pink or Anna and Elsa freaking right on diaper. And Dora. Don't get me started with Dora,
No, see,
but
well, there is a character on the pants from Costco. It's just that what it is when as they grow older, they
yeah,
get a new character. And I think there was like an elephant, a tiger, something else. So you're right
yeah,
though. They do, but that's only if you expose them to that. If they didn't know that those characters could be on their diaper, because
right.
we had swim diapers. Now those had to be from a major brand, and they always had a character on them. So she did have princess like swim diapers,
No good.
but neither one
Not,
of them ever noticed.
not the Ariel.
I think we had Winnie the Pooh
Oh, cool. Yeah, Winnie the
and
Pooh is very calm.
princesses.
I think he's free. Winnie the He shows up on almost everything. Like if I don't have a logo or something, I'll go with Winnie the Pooh. Yeah. I'll,
He's the one that Disney just hands out for free. Disney's yeah, you just have some Pooh. It's fun.
Oh, did you hear that? They are setting up the Avatar at I think probably at Universal Studio. The whole
Avatar.
set. Yeah, the movie. Like not the
Oh,
movie, but the whole set.
well, they're making an Avatar too.
That's why that movie is showing up on FX like every second movie is Avatar.
That's like TNT. Every second movie is Shawshank Redemption, which is a wonderful movie. Listen,
I,
okay,
I get it. I get it first time. I don't have to see it 10 times. And then the other day, I think Swati was watching. I'm like, come on. Let me put at least Shark Tank. I'll give you a similar name. Like, it can be Shark Tank. It's still good. It's still funny.
no. Here's the problem. I watched Avatar way after it had been out. I mean, I think it had been out for like 4 years, and I was like, I should
Oh,
probably
yeah.
see this because, I mean, people wanted it to the world to exist so badly that some people actually like try to take their own life that it didn't exist. Right. That was the
Yeah.
news stories anyway, which of course was baffling. But the what I didn't like about it was the fact that it was one problem. I had one problem with the film, and as soon as I heard that problem, I couldn't believe that anybody else could watch it further, and I couldn't believe that James Cameron even made this, I believe, is a large mistake, and that was calling the metal that was underneath the big tree unobtainium.
Unobtainium.
Unobtainium. It's like, is it what is it like? Well, it's like titanium, but it's really unattainable because it's really, really rare. So we called it unobtainium.
I think it was just a funny spin on it. Instead of titanium, oh, we'll call it unobtainium.
I
They
know,
couldn't
but
get it.
I think this is the most ridiculous thing ever. And apparently, and I didn't know this, right? Because I read a lot of sci-fi, and I didn't even know this part. But apparently, unobtainium has been used in other science fiction as like
Oh, okay.
either a joke concept for a metal that doesn't exist, kind
Yeah.
of like in Star Trek. If you're a Star Trek geek,
Yeah.
one of the ways that they make the ships work, right, is that, and I'll briefly go into this, but they take they take antimatter, which does exist, and they take
Mm-hmm.
matter, and they put them together to make the energy, right? So that makes sense in my brain, right? It makes sense in my brain. It causes a small explosion when the matter and the antimatter come together, and that makes sense. Okay, even the containment of matter and antimatter, they even made a good deal of using magnetism to like make it all. Anyway, the point is, how do you harness that power? Well, what they did was they created the dilithium crystal in the universe of Star Trek, and this is a fictional crystal
All right.
that allows matter and antimatter to come together in the crystal, and then the crystal to take the explosion and actually pass it out as energy, right? Usable
Yeah.
energy for the ship. So
Something
in
meaningful. I get
right,
that.
right. So, but what you call that though is it's unobtainium, basically. Yeah. So for James Cameron to take all this time with his film, make the language. I mean, he made the language. He made a language up for
Yeah.
this purpose. Used linguists himself to make a language. He built the entire world to the point that people saw the world and were like, oh, why doesn't
Yeah.
it exist? If it existed, my life would be so much better. And and then he says unobtainium. I mean,
He lost you right there.
I literally lost it. I lost it. I could not take it.
Oh boy. No,
Yeah.
I loved the movie. I'm a big fan of Avatar. Like, I tried to watch it in 3D, regular, on HD and whatnot. You just can't get enough look of, what she's wearing. But, you never see it. But no, no, I love the movie. The whole concept and what they're trying to do. So I'll be big on part two.
Okay.
But and if they go through the same motion that, oh, we're so big, and then they kind of franchise it out, that's where I think most of the movies lose the plot. If it's the same crew, or at least the director and producer, if it's the same team, we might see a better movie. If they franchise it out, or just go sell my name, then it's gonna be a crappy one.
no, I think James Cameron is 100% on board directing and producing. So I think it will
Okay.
be. Yeah. I just don't know how much more you can do with it.
Right.
It had a beginning, a middle, and a good ending, right? So how
Right.
can you really get away from like? Are you just gonna? He has to spin off a whole new story. I would think that you shouldn't have any more of the same people.
And I hope he does, because the average guy, if he just has to go in loss, says, "Oh, we earned so much money, we could spend another 400 mil for no reason." All he's gonna do is another set of guys trying to destroy the same planet. That's gonna be a disaster,
Yeah,
because
that's
this team is gone. They're dead anyway. So here comes these guys with fancy. I mean, they already had fancy aircrafts and the helicopters and choppers and everything. If they spend more money on redesigning that, it's going to be a disaster. I think it has to be another planet. Period.
Yeah, but then you lose all of the wonder that is Avatar, right? You lose all the Na'vi, or was it Nafi? Nafi.
Yeah,
The naive.
naive.
The naive, as in like we're naive for believing that unobtainium.
Naive or nabi? Oh boy.
I
Uh,
don't know.
uh,
I
I I
did.
I love that guy Turuk Mukhtar, that the red dragon that flies. Turuk Mukhtar. It's a cool name to say, you know. It's like Turuk Mukhtar. The second name I like, and you have to probably guess the name of the movie. It's Juntao.
Juntao.
Juntao. You seen that movie?
Juntao.
Asian guy, black guy.
I have no.
Rush Hour.
Rush Hour. I was gonna say Rush Hour. I was gonna say
Boy.
Rush Hour because that's
Yeah,
classic.
yeah,
Classic.
the bad Chinese guy in that movie is Juntao.
Juntao.
Yeah.
You gotta love Chris Tucker and
Oh yeah.
Jackie Chan.
Oh
You
yeah.
got to. I like Chris Tucker in The Fifth Element was also good.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of his shtick though, but yeah.
Yeah, he speaks so fast. Non-stop Tucker.
That's true. I wanted to talk about one more thing before we go, and
Yeah.
it's a big subject. It's a big subject because Laura and I brought it up in the car.
Hmm.
Okay, and the reason I bring it up, I look at Google News on my phone, by the way, so I have like a Google News app, and it aggregates all the news that there is
Yeah.
to look at. Dude, I don't want to see Kim Davis's face on my screen again. So
Wow.
so for those of you who are not aware who Kim Davis is, she is the county clerk out of Kentucky who said that based on her religious beliefs, she would not give out marriage licenses for same-sex couples, right?
Yep.
Now, the way this went down, right, was that the United States Supreme Court said, you can't do that,
Yeah.
right? No, you can't do that. This is the law now. You have to give out same-sex marriage licenses. Okay, so that's what happened. So out of
Mhm.
out
No,
of
what's your objection again?
I don't want to see her face because
you, you know, she didn't stop there.
I
She went ahead and changed all the marriage license forms, took her name out, and gave the old form. So now people are debating whether those are even valid licenses because it has to have a county clerk name on it with a signature. That's when it becomes valid. The state has bestowed the authority with the county clerks, not with his deputy or her deputy or her boss. It's with the county clerk. So if she's not signing it, if her initials are not on it, it's not a valid document.
I know, and she's done. So she was thrown into jail for contempt of court because basically she wasn't doing what she was told to do. Right?
Yep.
There's a couple of things here about this that really kind of get me upset. Okay, because I can understand someone's religious beliefs. I understand it, and I used to feel the same way, right? So I'm even coming from a different angle here, but or the same angle where I've actually changed, and I think I have a better grasp nowadays than I did before. But she's an elected official,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so
is she elected?
yes, she's an
Oh,
elected official. She has her son working there, and her mother used to work there, right?
yeah.
So she should know all the laws and understand everything. And because she is an elected official, it almost like it's it's like working for like Procter and Gamble and being like, I don't like shampoo. Well,
Yeah.
no, Procter and Gamble, and no offense to anybody that works for Procter and Gamble makes shampoo and doesn't like it, but anybody who, you can't be like, well, I don't like shampoo, so I'm not going to make shampoo anymore, right? This is the same kind of situation, but this is actually a public figure at this point, someone who is elected into office, and the highest court of that government that she is a part of has basically said, and this wasn't just like a court. This was the Supreme Court, which meant that it's already gone through all the machinations that it can and gone through every single court that it could. And now it came to the highest court in the land, and it said, you know what? Yeah, we got to allow same-sex marriages because that's what the people want, and it's against the Bill of Rights, things like that, the Constitution. You know what I mean? Because you can't. Two people are two people, right?
True.
We can't use some weird basis, or not weird basis, but a religion. Well, no matter what religion it is, you can't use that as your basis at this point. So here she is coming out, and one of the reasons I can't stand her face at this point is because I think that she knew that certain people would rally behind her. Okay.
Right.
And we all know who that is. That's people who are, ultra conservative and ultra Christian that are behind her and are behind her in a blind way, right? And I can't.
Agreed.
I don't like the fact. And if you're going to
So
be behind her blind, know who she is. And Saga, her backstory is terrible. This is not like
yeah.
it's not like this is Jesus, right? This woman, and even if you were to forgive everything that she's done and you look at her past, she is not the person to stand behind on this fight.
Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to stay away from the story, but since you brought it up, now the similar looking case, a girl who was happily drinking and serving liquor refused to serve as a flight attendant, mind you, right? As a flight attendant, now she refuses to serve liquor because her religious beliefs do not agree to that. It is the similar case. It's your job. Don't If you don't like it, don't sue the airline. Quit. Find something else.
So yeah, no, I don't have that case in front of me, right? Like,
All
because I
right.
brought up the Kim Davis case just so I could make sure I had all the facts.
Yeah.
But in
No.
that case, and you and I have talked about that other case a little bit, and I think that, and I'd have to find it to get all the facts, but from what I understand, what we've talked about before on that one is that that flight attendant, there's a couple of idiosyncrasies here that are hard for us to fight on this because flight attendants are there for your safety, not for service, right? I think we talked about that.
Yep.
At one point. So that's interesting. So that way she could win. I mean, we all know what a flight attendant, that they do. They're there for our safety, right? but because of the fact that safety is only needed 0.00001% of their job, because so thankfully flying in the air is actually really safe.
Right.
The airlines have to. They use them for services such as food and beverage, and that includes liquors, right? Drinks, alcoholic drinks. So my stance on this is that if true, which some of the other facts were that she was given, that she was offered another position at the airline so that she could maintain her salary, maintain her way of life, maybe not flying on planes all around the world, but she had a job.
Yep.
And so if the company did their best to at least keep her with a job, instead what they did was they fired her, and they probably offered her what do you call it?
They tried their best. They offered her another job.
Right.
Where you don't have to do this stuff. But in Kim Davis, in her defense, right? I mean, if she has any, right? It's the law behind. Now is the law. You can do it, right? But she not approving it, the law says it's at county clerk's discretion to approve or to allot a certificate. It's almost like, giving out an authorized certification that, oh, you're my best friend, right?
Okay.
So if the law says it's up to county clerk's discretion to, issue or not issue, then the, you can dig into the reasons why she doesn't want to. So we are going into the fact finding mode, like, oh, why she actually did it. And, we are making a big topic of this. Her lawyer could come up and say, oh, there were other issues with that. I mean, she would definitely go with the religious one for sure, but she can say, okay, I refused it based on A, obviously, my religious beliefs, and B, there are like these 10 other reasons. So she could still win too. If it's like, if the law itself says, like, oh, Holy John, whatever you say would be right, and you refuse to say the right thing, you're still right. Because the law says whatever you say would be right.
Uh, okay, so if that's the case,
Yeah.
if I was in Kentucky, I would be the first one to come out of the gate with a petition to get her thrown out of office. I'm
Yeah.
I'm serious. I would be, because I'm tired of her, and again, her backstory is pretty bad, and for someone who's standing on a belief, right,
Mhm.
and then having, I just can't see this as an actual true conviction. I see this, and even if it is a true conviction, let's say it is,
Mhm.
the Supreme Court, the highest court in our land, has already made a decision. So then if you can't do the job, then you resign. It's like the
Yeah.
lady with the liquor.
Yeah.
And they've tried to do things to help her out, where like she doesn't have to be the one to sign. Another clerk can sign.
Yeah.
But apparently she's also done some new things after she's been taken, after she was released
Oh
from
yeah.
jail.
Yeah.
Of course she's doing something else, right?
Yeah.
So and all these people are behind her, and like and I feel like they're following her, and like some of her statements don't even make any sense, even biblically. And I'm like, you can't.
Yeah.
I'm not very happy with Miss Davis, and I don't want to see her in my news feed anymore. I know there's even a way for me to block her. I think I can actually block her, but
No, I'm all for, whatever you like, do it. And now it's a law. It's not like, it's not your opinion anymore. It's not an
correct.
opinion, like, whether you like, if you don't like a certain flavor of ice cream, don't eat it. But now the government allows you to eat any flavor of ice cream, right? So
Right.
if you're serving it, you have to serve it.
Right.
I mean,
Right. Exactly.
I can go and say, oh, my religious belief, I'm hardcore Hindu, and Lord Ganesha is the festival that's going on right now, so I cannot serve you vanilla. I'm sorry. No, I'm not even sorry about it. Yeah, I can't serve you vanilla.
See, I, uh,
Yeah, yeah. She has to go. Kim
I,
Davis gotta go.
I mean, to make a statement, like, look, here's her statement. You want to hear her statement? she stated, I quote, "I never imagined a day like this would come, where I would be asked to violate a central teaching of Scripture and of Jesus himself regarding marriage." That's not even like a statement, right? Like that's not even true.
Like what? What?
I mean, if the thing is that yes, it says man and woman, a lot, right? because that was honestly the norm of marriage back then, right? So that's what you're going to say when you write some stuff down.
Yeah.
So, but it, it's just interesting that and no one can take it in context. Like I just don't. So that's why I'm
I
tired. And
I
all the money and power behind her right now, and I'm sure that she's loving it. And she's. And if you read all the articles about her professionally and personally, it's never anyone that I would have followed into, down this road at all. So I just think that she has the makings of like a Joey Buttafuoco, where like or not a Joey Buttafuoco, somebody who came into 15 Minutes of Fame, and then later on is going to end up on an episode of Cops. I feel that way. I don't mean to be. I'm being
yeah.
rude and mean and whatever, and not nice at all. But
No, she'll do fine. It just she just needs to quit, man. Yeah. Like I'm sure we're gonna talk about this even next week because I have some more things around that.
okay.
But I'll hold my tongue for now because she's Kim Davis. She's still an office bearer, so she's gonna be there, and she's gonna do some stupid shit over a period of 1 week or 2 weeks. Oh, we are greater than or equal to 2. So yeah, in 2 weeks she has plenty of time to do some more stupid.
No, I'm saying it was like Thursday right after she got out of jail. Like she ended up doing something else, and it's like it's one of those things where I'm like I don't want to hear about it. Anyway, all right.
Yeah.
So listen, Avatar 2 is going to be awesome.
Yep. It's gonna be unobtainium too.
You mean 2 unobtainium?
They should come up with a new name.
They should. They in the very beginning, they should just have like this small prologue where this one guy's like, "Listen, did you hear about that big tree incident on the Na'vi homeworld? Yeah, man. They were, and they're like, yeah. Listen, I want to spin up a new name for that stuff because it just made it sound terrible that we went in there for unobtainium and then literally almost destroyed a race to get it. So here's what I'm going to call it." And then like they just call it something new, like I don't know, new aluminum.
Billions in dollars in aluminum you could get from China. They won't even fight back. They'll just give it to you. Oh boy.
Oh man.
It's gonna
be
fun. Yeah. That's cool, man.
All right, we'll end it there.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll.
Cool. Fun, huh? I think we had a good time, and that's going on my Facebook for sure.
You're handling all the Facebooking, right?
Yep.
You have to monitor the thing.
And respond. Yeah.
You have to monitor the.
Oh yeah, I have that notification thing on, so it keeps popping up.
Yeah, but do you have the? I think I gave you rights to manage the site every 2 weeks one.
Oh, the page, the Facebook page. Oh, okay.
So it's up to you. You can either respond. See, if I can't see it on your wall, right?
Yeah.
Then
no, it's gonna be on my wall because I'll have to share it. But I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll give you the link. I'll give you the Facebook thing, the link, or or you can link the page, whatever.
Did Susan see Tumbleleaf yet?
No.
No. I figured it out. That's a good show.
I'll have to look. Hey, that's like 3 special steps from Agent Oso. 3 special steps. Da 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 da. 3 special steps. Step 1. Yeah. Post the page. Step 2. That's what I have to look. Is Tumbleleaf on the Netflix?
I think it's on Amazon Prime for sure.
Yeah, dude, we don't have Amazon Prime. I used to have Prime.
That's another company we didn't talk about, but this is not our last show. We're gonna have
No, yeah, we could.
plenty more.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we could. Yeah, yep.
cool.
Cool. Yeah. All right, man. I'll let you. I know you got things to do this morning, so I'll let you go. I'm gonna go take a nap.
Nice.
I'll see you, Sagar.
All right, man. I'll see you then. Thank you.
Yep.
Have a good one. Bye.
You too.